Hello, my name is David Lindo. I'm also known as the Urban Birder, and my whole thing is about connecting people living in urban areas with nature, but through the medium of birds. And what I will say throughout this video is the fact that birds are everywhere. You don't have to be anywhere special to see birds, because you just have to step out of your house, open the window, look up, and you will see birds. We are entering strange times, but one of the interesting things that's come out of the pandemic is the fact that people have connected to nature. And one of the best ways of connecting to nature in an urban area is through urban birding. The thing is, you can never be too urban. Even in the heart of a city with traffic rolling by and people walking up and down the street, and with the background of a building, you can still see birds. It's not just pigeons either, because if you listen very carefully, you can hear other birds calling and singing. But the most important thing to do when you're in a city and doing what I'm doing now, you need to look up. The great thing about urban birding is that you can do it anywhere. You can start off in your garden, or like me, if you haven't got a garden, you can sit in the park. But one of the interesting things about urban birding is not so much watching birds, it's about allowing yourself to be in contact with nature. And that means just sitting back, relaxing, enjoying the day, and just allowing yourself to get onto nature's wavelength. When I started to watch birds as a kid, I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't have a clue as to what they were called. I just watched them. And that's what I suggest you do. If you want to start birding, urban birding, just allow the birds to come to you and watch them and enjoy them for what they are. And over a period of time, you begin to realize, oh, that's a chaffinch. Oh, that's a wren, that's a blackbird. There is no rules. You don't have to see a certain amount of species in a month, or, in other words, don't put pressure on yourself. It's all about just enjoying yourself and doing it at your pace. Because at the end of the day, it's about connecting to nature. It's not about competing with others. But if you haven't got a garden, it's always good to come to a local park and stand around and just listen and watch for birds. And after a while, you begin to hear things. I can hear starlings singing, for example, and also sparrows and finches and gulls. Your park will become your local patch. And over a period of time, you begin to see a whole range of different birds. But it's all about walking around your park. Some parks have areas like small ponds and reed beds. They have trees like this one has, and the trees are basically like scattered woodlands, where you'll find woodland type species like woodpeckers and pigeons and finches and robins. But then if you go to the areas where there's lakes and water, you'll get water birds, herons, grebes, ducks. So you begin to get a selection of different types of birds. And that's how you really get to know the birds of your neighbourhood, by just coming to a park and taking a walk around and seeing what you find. You can find birds anywhere, whether you live in the centre of a city or in the outskirts, if you live in a housing block or if you live in a house, it doesn't matter. You will find birds everywhere. When I was a kid, I was told that birds were only found in the middle of the countryside, and I had no one to take me there. So I looked around me and I realised that there's actually quite a lot of birds to be seen in a city. In Britain, there's been 620 different species seen since records began. Well, right now, in London, for example, there's been maybe 360 species recognised, and of the 620 in the whole of the UK, at least 95% have been found in urban areas. So it shows you that being in a city or town makes no difference. You'll still see birds. And one of the most interesting things is the fact that because you are in a city, the birds are used to people. So you often can see them a lot better and a lot closer. I love watching birds in urban areas. I absolutely love it. The reason? Well, it's the fact that anything can turn up anywhere at any time. It's such well, it's a great thing to do because you can never know what you're going to be seeing next. It could be a blackbird, it could be a house sparrow, it could be something even more exotic like a waxwing. You know, you can see so many things. You've got to keep your mind open. That's the most important thing. Keep your mind open to the possibility of seeing any and everything. It's not just pigeons, it could be anything. So keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, and you will be surprised. So you've been outside, you've been to the park, you've looked out in your garden, and over a period of time, you want to take it a stage further. Well, the best way to do that, and the best way to see birds a lot clearer, is to get a pair of binoculars. There is an art to using binoculars because people think that they can just pick up a pair of binoculars and use them. But in fact, they have to be calibrated to your eyes because everyone's eyes are different. Some people have a more dominant right eye, others the left. So you have to make sure that the binocular is focused so that you don't strain your eyes. Very quickly, the best way to do that is you look through your pair of binoculars, but you close your right eye, looking through your binoculars at a certain point, so a road sign or some kind of, place that you can actually focus on, and then you focus using the main central barrel, your left eye, until it's perfect. And then when you are happy with that, without straining, you then close that left eye, and then using, depending on what type of binocular you have, some binoculars have a bit here that you can actually flick up, and that bit focuses the other eye, or sometimes that focus is actually on the eyepiece itself. But either way, you activate it and you close your left eye, look through your right, and focus until you can see clearly. And then when you open both your eyes, you should be able to see a perfect image. Not an inverted figure of 8 like you see on the James Bond movies, but it should be a perfect circle. So you've got a pair of binoculars. Another really essential piece of kit is a bird guide, a book that can help you identify the birds you see. There's plenty on the market, and there's a few that are really good. For example, the RSPB has a very simple guide to the birds of Britain. I tend to use an app because sometimes if you're out and it's raining, it's difficult to pull a book out. You'll need a bird identification guide. This is the app I use. It's called Bird Guides. And you have all the birds that are possible, not only in Britain, but in Europe too. So you've got yourself out, you're watching birds, you've got a pair of binoculars, you've got a bird book. The next thing to do is to join up with other people. Why not join a group like a local RSPB group, or perhaps even a bird club, or just hang out with friends and learn together. It's great fun, especially if you've got an expert with you who can show you the ropes. But the other thing to do, I suppose, is to enjoy yourself. That's the main thing. Enjoy yourself. You don't need to wear head to toe camo. You can just dress how you want, and you don't need to go out first thing in the morning either, because birds can be seen all during the day. So enjoyment, hanging out with people and doing it at your own pace, that is the beauty of urban birding.